9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. NAHU's back one more time. This month, anyways.
For the circus.
Kinda. Next week, we are off.
That's not like the introduction you were giving.
No. I could start with some Waka Flocka, but...
No. We've tried that before.
Yeah, we'll do it again, just to spite a couple people. Because we're petty like that. Anyways, we're off next week for Thanksgiving weekend, so you'll have to just go check out the website, NAHUpicks.com, for all your selections there. But for tonight, big show planned. Mike and I are taking over tonight. We cut Ray out of the picture today. Or he cut himself out, one of the two. So tonight we're going to talk about the late pick 4 at Western Fair, which starts in about 10 minutes or so. We'll go over the pick 4 for tonight at Woodbine Mohawk Park. That's the late pick 4 starting in race 7. And we'll talk about the stakes action and the late pick 4 tomorrow night at the Meadowlands. We also have two special guests coming on tonight. Both are drivers up in Ontario. One is at Woodbine Mohawk Park tonight, Jay Harris, and the other just finished her last drive at Western Fair, Natasha Day, and she'll be joining us in the second half of the show, talk about her drives for the weekend and about the benefit that they're doing up there in Ontario for Christy Dustin. So we'll get started right away on this London pick 4 because we don't have a lot of time. This is a $5,000 guaranteed pool. Starts in race number 7, which is coming up as soon as the 6th goes official. So to start it off here, we got a field.
They took the one down at London there.
They did take him down?
Yeah, he's out.
So race 7, we got a field of 8 here. And this is, if my stuff will move, I'll tell you what this class is. But my computer's running extremely slow right now.
Now where's the 15,000 lifetime?
Now where's the 15,000 lifetime? On the pace. Oh, on the trot, I'm sorry. On the trot, field of 8. And I thought this race was pretty competitive, but I think there's a couple you could toss out here. Mike, start us off.
Well, 4 deep to start. I agree with the competitiveness. I mean, these are horses that haven't won 15,000, so it's a lot of lightly raced types or types that really don't like to win. 4 deep. I'm going to use the inside 3. The 1, Social House. This horse usually doesn't stay flat, but if you look at that 2-back line, horse raced pretty well from the 3-hole. That was the only time the horse hadn't broken the last 4 starts, but finished second there. Maintains this driver here for Keith Cullen. I think, with, the rail, if the horse can stay flat early, which is a huge question mark, is worth a use, maybe at a little bit of a price. The 2 Dora, lightly raced, 1 for 18 life, but did win last time from the rail. Loses Kelly, which is kind of I think is not a great angle because I do like him up there, but she's a 3-year-old filly, draws well again, and, seems to like to stay flat most of the time. When she does stay flat, her lines fit. The 3 PC guideline comes off a layoff, raced well back in May at London, was in a couple of the City of London stakes, and, was getting checks there, had won, 2 in a row there in April and May at London, then, has been laid up. Qualifier was marginal, but faced Hey Livy there. That horse won last night at Woodbine, finally on the front. Very talented horse, just tends to break. So I feel like if this horse is ready, has probably a lot more talent than most of these in here. So that one's a must use. And then I'll go outside to the 7, Unfinished Business. This horse keeps Kelly, which is one of the big reasons that I've used. Also has gate issues, but, did win at Kawartha on September 22nd. This last qualifier at Flamborough last time against Draft Year, who raced tonight at Woodbine, and that horse finished second in one of those series finals. So I'll try that one too. 1, 2, 3, 7.
We're a little bit different here. I also like the 1. Just needs to stay flat early. That start 2 back was really the key for me. The horse raced very well there. Was up close the entire way. Made the lead and then just got beat by a tough winner that is now out of this class. So, again, the key for this one is just to stay flat, and I think he's definitely got a shot. The 3 PC Glide Line, the Clements crew here. This one took time off, hasn't raced since May, which I don't mind. The qualifier wasn't that great, but the way this horse was racing earlier in the year, I think she definitely fits in this type of field. There's really nothing outstanding in here that I can recommend anybody really play. So I think that one's a must-use. And then the 6, LMC hashtag, jumps up from the non-winners of 1 or 5,000. Won that race very handily last time. I didn't see that one coming, but showed pretty good improvement there. I like the spot here. Should be following, covered the whole way. I don't think this horse goes to the lead, but this horse does have the capability of leaving if he wants to. So you get Rob Shepard back on. I like the improvement last time on the front end, so I'm going to go ahead and use 1, 3, 6 here. The second leg is race number 8. As I continue to wait for my stuff to load. Can you tell us what class that is, Mike?
So it's the claimer, 15 claimers, fillies and mares for non-winners of 30,500 lifetime with allowances.
All right, so you got a field of 8 here in race number 8. And this is another one that I think is pretty wide open if you consider what's in here. They've been competitive against each other week in, week out. So start us off, Mike.
Yeah, I went all in here. It's hard to take 5 out of 8 for me. I feel like the inside has advantage, but, the racetrack played towards the front last time, and I think that benefited the 1. The 2 raced pretty well from off the pace in that same race. The 3 had a tough trip, gets Kelly now, I think, is a use. The 4, is second start off the 6 scratch for McNair's. There's a lot to like. The 5 opened up with money on it last time from the 7 hole, moves in a couple spots. I feel like that a lot of these horses have a big chance, and I'll hope for chaos, use all in leg number 2.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you there. This is a wide open race, like we mentioned. But I'm going 3 deep here. The 1 Large on Legacy is the key player in this race. Likes the front end. Should go right there once again for Tyler Moore. Comes off 2 straight wins. You got to love the form. And they rode him into the race. Or rode her into the race. So I think she's going to be the key horse. But is beatable. The 6, I'm a Carroll 2. If you follow me on Twitter or you watched this horse last week, you had to be as impressed as I was watching this horse off the gate in her first start in Ontario. She absolutely flew off the car, made the front from the 7 hole, and was already backing the pace down before they hit the first turn. That's how quick she was off the gate. She could do that easily. Again, she moves in a spot from last week. That win was super impressive. I liked the way she did it last week, so I'm going to use. Plus, you get second-time Lasix. The 7, Eat 'em Up Cassandra. She's also been in pretty good form. She's hit the board 2 of her last 3. Just got beat half a length last time over at Flamborough. This is a little bit of a step down in class, but she's got 7 wins on the year. She loves to win. I'm going to use, even though she's got the outside post, because she is a versatile type that can go on or off the lead. So I am 1, 6, and 7 there in race number 8. Race number 9 is leg 3 of this pick 4 at Western Fair. And Mike, give us the class here.
So it's a trot for numbers of 2,500 last three. And there's a few other conditions. Winners over 4,000, last five not eligible. So $5,600 purse. And that's where we're at for race now.
And you've got a field of 7 here with the scratch of number 7, which is the outside post over at Western Fair. So I'll start this one off. The 2 Irish Thunder. This one moves inside a little bit more than last time, drops down from the preferred 2 and 3s. This is like a double class drop, so I think you have to play this horse from the inside. She makes sense, or he makes sense from this post in this group. The 3-star photo is always competitive when he faces this class. If you look down 6 starts back, this horse just dominated at this level over at Grand River, so no reason not to have this one on your ticket. Gonna be a likely favorite here, but is a must-use, especially from the inside. Could leave, likely going to be first over, though. And then the 8 Broadway, Maya, I don't know how you say it, but whatever. This one was right first start in Ontario, racing the preferred 3. Finished 4th there, was a pretty decent mile. Came back, had the 7 hole the last 2 times over at Flamborough. Now draws inside, gets the second tier, but it is Moreau. Rob Shepard has 9 wins on the year and comes off of 2 decent races from outside post. So I'm going to throw that one on 2-3-8 for me.
Same numbers here, 2-3-8. I don't have a ton to add. The 2 Irish Thunder gets the drop, gets a decent post here. Has been facing, tougher ones. The problem is a little camera shy. 4 wins the last 2 years, but is capable. The 3-star photo, I actually like this horse at Woodbine last time on November 8th. And didn't race bad there. Did leave off the car. Just ran into some tough foes there and really didn't lack room towards the end of that race. Set up, I think, for a decent race here. And then, of course, the 8. This is another Moreau horse with Shepard. Draws much better. Should be moving early. 9 wins this year. And pretty obvious race there, 2-3-8.
Leg number 4 is a $15,000 claimer for now winners of $15,000 lifetime. And you get a field of 9 here. Is there a scratch in here? I thought there was a scratch.
7 and 9 are out, I believe. Am I wrong about that?
The 2 is out.
Oh, 2 is out. Okay.
2 is out of race number 10. So that leaves you a field of 8 here. The also eligible 10 is not racing.
Yeah,
I thought this race was wide open. Well, I don't want to say wide open, but there's only 4 horses that I like here at all. I'm using all 4 of them. The 1, 88 Fingers Louie, gets the rail again. Last week, I don't know what happened there. Kind of an anomaly for this horse, but you go back to that form 2, 3, and 4 starts ago. This horse fits right in here. Should be right up close, looking for that 2-hole trip. Behind the next horse I'm going to talk about, the 5 Encore Panic. This one has a ton of early gate speed. Should go right to the lead. First start in this barn, and I think you got to love that angle right there. This barn hits 285 percentage, and you get Paul McKenzie. These guys team up all the time and bring some horses across the line. So this one on the ship down to Ontario definitely plays here. The 6 BR Royal Boom. The last race was very good. Didn't get out until real late, but I thought raced very well there. Even 2 back, that wasn't a bad race at all from this horse. Was just too far back there. Now you get the driver change to Nick Stewart. I expect Nick to be a little bit aggressive with this horse and try to go early on. That's one angle I'm taking with this one. So definitely use this horse. The price, I don't know what kind of price you're going to get on this one, but make sure you have this one on the ticket. Then the 7 Warwee Toronto. Bad post, but does show early gate speed. last week showed some versatility coming from off the pace. That was a really good race, I thought. May need some things to fall his way in here, but definitely plays. Even with the outside post, I think you got to use this one just because of that versatility that he showed last week, finishing second from off the pace. So I'm going to go 1, 5, 6, and 7.
I'm single to the 6 here, BR Royal Boom. Good to drop back into the claimers. Has been racing well at, the upper levels there. And I thought raced really well last time to be second. 4 wins out of 17 races this year. And, I'm kind of deep early, so I'll shrink down here and hope the 6 gets a little bit of a trip. So 6 in the last.
Well, you made that one simple. Here's my ticket. 20-cent pick 4. Late pick 4 at London. You got about 2 to 3 minutes to get your play in. Here's my ticket. 1, 3, 6 with, 1, 6, 7 with, 2, 3, 8 with, 1, 5, 6, 7. It's 2160. Michael?
I have 1, 2, 3, 7 with all. With 2, 3, 8 with 6. It's 1920. I'm going to punch it a couple times, I believe.
Yeah, this pick 4 is worth a play because you can get some of these chalks beat here. And looking at the board right now, current favorite is the 5.
I don't have any 5.
Junior, the favorite. For the Dufords, who we gave a shout out to on Tuesday night up there at Western Fair. Not my type in this race. I thought he could have been a little bit better last week. But I mean, the horse fits. Just not on the slight jump up in class. I'm not a big fan. I'm going to go ahead and go against him at 3 to 1, especially at 3 to 1.
29 lifetime. A lot of. Maybe they're well meant tonight, but I don't know. It's a wide open board. I'm surprised the 3's not taking more money in the race personally. And there's, the 7's way overlate in the race. This horse should not be 14 to 1, as far as I'm concerned. Especially with a lot of these horses that are roughly gated inside. A lot could jump here, coming away from there.
Oh, absolutely. So, this is one of those races where you kind of look for a horse to keep.
At least the horse stays flat. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's had the 3's had a long layoff. That's an issue. The 1 breaks. There's several issues with several horses here. So,
the 2 beat this group last time. It's 10 to 1. That's very surprising.
Well, it was a cheaper group.
5 here. Like I'm starting to wonder what I'm missing.
Well, the 5 last week. I had the 5 last week, and he raced very well from where he was at. He just didn't look like he was going to win the race. He wasn't coming that hard, but he was right. He finished well. I thought it was a decent race out of him. But, I'm not really keen on any of the horses that are coming out of that race because it was a pretty weak race, and they didn't go anything in there. The track wasn't that bad.
Even out a little now.
Yeah, the track wasn't that bad.
Money coming for the 6.
And we got about 30 seconds to post here. Current favorite is the 1 Social House at 2 to 1, and now 3 to 1. Well, the 3 PC Glide Line just dropped down to 5 to 2 favorite. So they're kind of all over the place with the tote board right now.
Yeah, very wide open race. The favorite keeps changing. Money's coming in on everything. You have 6 horses right now from 2.5 to 1 to 4 to 4 to 1 or so. The outside 2 horses are 10 and 13. So there's all kind of money spread everywhere here. There's no real bombs. There's no real big favorites. It's a great start to the pick 4. It should eliminate a lot of tickets, no matter what the outcome.
I agree. And they're behind the gate for race number 7. Sugar Doyle is going to give you the call here, and I'm going to pick my nose for a minute.
7 across, trailing now. Got to get me some of that. 1/8 of a mile from the start. These 7 trotters pick up speed. Here they come. Stride at the start, number 4, OCC. And there they go. First off the wings here, PC Glide Line, left out for Clements. Along the inside, those Social House is coming through. Social House at 3-2, coming through along the inside against PC Glide Line. Right up there with them in third. Got to get me some of that. Protects the pylon position. All alone in fourth, Dora. Fifth best away, we've got LMC hashtag. And that coming ahead, the back markers here are Junior. Then Unfinished Business well back after the gate break. OCC still battling here. Quarter mile was 28-4. It's a couple of favorites, in fact. 3-2 shot, Social House on the in. And on the outside looking in is 3-1 shot, PC Glide Line. Watching this battle from third has been Gotta Get Me Some of That. Trotting up to fourth. As they approach the half mile, that is Dora. Then it's a gap of 4 lengths to LMC hashtag, not keeping up fifth, still battling. Through a half, 59-3. It's been Social House and PC Glide Line thus far. Right on the bit with them in third. Got to get me some of that. Angle to the outside and 4 travels Dora. Dora gets underway and quickly off the back end. Here comes Unfinished Business at 18-1 with pace 2 chase on down the backside. Second and final time. Social House is still there. PC Glide Line still with the challenge. All dressed up. No place to go. Tugging hard. Got to get me some of that. Dora's out there in fourth. Unfinished Business just trying to make it up at a fifth. 131-1 for 3/4. Still there. Social House not going away is PC Glide Line. Hopelessly blocked in third. Got to get me some of that. Dora's out there in fourth. 1/8 of a mile left to go. They've been ding-donging it from the start. PC Glide Line. Now there's room for Got to Get Me Some of That. PC Glide Line holds on to win it. Got to Get Me Some of That was second. Third goes to Social House with Dora finishing fourth, 2:03-3. All hard. PC Glide Line for the Clements.
Pretty big trip he went, didn't he?
Parked a mile. That was huge. That was really big. First start off the layoff.
That was big. Well, that horse, had shown stakes talent against a bunch of horses that weren't. I'm sure that they would have preferred a lot easier trip on him first back, but he found a way. And, some of the ones we were interested in just kind of, they were never beating that horse no matter the trip, it appears. But if you want to go to Mohawk tonight for their pick 4, we got 6 minutes, so I'm just letting you know.
6 minutes till the late pick 4 at Woodbine Mohawk Park. That's what I meant. This starts in race number 7. As I scroll down to race number 7, Mike, give us the condition.
Okay, so race 7 is Harvest Series final. It's 3-year-old colts and geldings. No one's at 30,000. These are the horses that have been racing. They had a couple legs earlier in November here, the last 2 weeks, and this is the final going for 47.5.
All right, so we got a full field here. I'll start this off. The 2 Phantom Sealster has early speed, draws much better than last week. Had the 8-hole last week. Gets Louis Waugh back on. Well, first time for Louis Waugh, actually. And I think the way he's been racing, won his last 2 starts, he's a must-play here. The 3 Dismal Slip has been racing off the pace
Dismissal
last...
slip.
What's that?
Dismissal slip. Kind of like you're dismissed from school.
What did I say? Did I say
You said dismal slip.
Oh, my bad. Dismissal Slip. Has raced off the pace the last couple starts, but prior to that, those were 2 outside posts. Had shown early speed in the first 2 starts off those qualifiers. This one for me, I think Trevor Henry is going to fire early and go towards the lead. A must-play in this spot. The 5 West Lucky Terror raced well, first and second in this series. Jody stays on. This one also has early speed, and if you've been watching it all tonight, the track has been playing front end. This one has 6 wins on the year and 20 starts. I really like this horse. The form is great. 2 wins, 2 seconds the last 4 starts. So this one is in the right spot. And then the 8, nice long shot play here, and he's got swagger. Last week came from off the pace for the Cullens. That was a pretty good effort. Back half in 54-4. I thought it was a very good race out of him. There, 2 starts back, tried to move twice and just got tired, so I tossed that one out. And prior to that, won 4 in a row over at Flamborough. This one, I mean, what more can you say about his form other than that bad drive 2 back? But I mean, I really like his chances in here, as long as he can get in the right spot. If there's a lot of early speed, I think he's going to be the benefactor coming from off the pace if he can close enough to be able to get to him late. So 2, 3, 5, 8.
Okay, I'm 3 deep. Agree on the 2. You know, this horse is currently even money, actually 3-2 right now in the race. Has dominated the first 2 legs, looking for a sweep. Front end has been fantastic. If you're not 1 too early, you're not winning tonight. At least that's the way it's been and the way it was yesterday. Also, this horse is definitely going to take some beating. The 4 Mission 3. You know, this horse has been the favorite last 2 starts. Had the 9-hole 2 back, no shot. You know, last time raced a lot better behind Phantom Stilster. Just couldn't catch him. You know, that horse, you know, kicked 28-1 off a fairly easy half. I mean, they weren't catching him in that race. But, you know, in these finals, sometimes the races get a little bit crazy. And this horse has the speed to, you know, be close enough early. If you look back, I mean, this horse won straight numbers at 3 on October the 20th. You know, and then got stuck facing Walter Mitty, who's been extremely good on 27th. This horse has some back lines, and right now he's sort of being ignored on the board. I mean, you're getting 10-1 on a horse that's been even money the last 2 starts. I'm interested now, especially with the price. And then the 9, Shadow Moon. This horse keeps McNair, won last week, does move outside, but has enough early speed. And this horse raced decent enough in the grassroots races. You know, got stuck chasing horses like Pretty Handsome, Casimir Richie P, all much better than these. You know, the post is kind of crappy, and the way that the you know, track is played tonight, it's kind of against them. But I'm 2, 4, 9.
Moving on, leg number 2. This is race 8. Philly and Mare, now just 7,000 last 5. Optional $18,000 claimer. I thought this was the most wide open race of the whole sequence. I'm curious where you're at here, Mike.
4 deep, the 1 Ruby's Prescott raced very well from the 10-hole last time. Does have plenty of speed with McNair back on to be close. The 7, she's a real deal. Has burned money the last 2 starts, but this is the right class for her. She can do it either way, up on the front or off the helmet. The 8, Bernadette. The race sort of set up for this one last time. Keeps Wall here, which I would expect the way the track is playing, he should have her closer. And then the 9, Anderson Steelster, blew out a 8 claimer on Monday. You know, and that was a perfect trip. But this horse went 52-4. That was a huge race there. You know, steps up now, and I'm okay with that for us, Yellow. 1, 7, 8, 9.
We're actually quite different here. I do like the 1 Ruby's Prescott. I think she's always a use, especially at this low level. I mean, she's better than these when she's right. She's not right now, but she's better than these, plain and simple. The 2, Pretty Hot. Missed a couple weeks, but I don't mind that. Her last 2 starts, she was 1st and 3rd. Jay Harris on to drive this one. I was hoping we could get him on before he drove, but I think it'll be after. But 2 back, he drove this horse in this class and won from off the pace, so I do like that he's driving again. That's really the biggest angle for me with this horse. The 4, Sinalta Call Girl, has faced the non-winners of 5 or 80-something, $90,000 roughly, off and on. And then went to London, raced in the preferred 3 and the non-winners of 2,000 last 3 starts, and she was good there, but came back the last time, paced a half in 56 flat. I thought it was a good race against tough horses. This is a little bit of an easier race, and you're going to have decent value here. the 6 Beach Goddess has been off form, obviously, but was in with similar horses that the 4 had been racing against. And this one was kind of just going even miles. The last race, though, the last 2 races, just had no chance. The way the track's playing, yeah, I'm a little concerned, but I think this one fits at this level and should be played. And then the 9, I think, is pretty obvious to have on the ticket, to be honest with you. Even from the outside post, there's no reason not to have. And I think Mike basically covered everything about the 9. So I'm 1, 2, 4, 6, and 9 here in leg number 2. Mike, what's the third leg?
We need to hurry too because we got probably about a minute here. So leg 3 is Phil Inver's preferred. I'm singled to Kendall Silster off her last 2. She's just been dominating. So I'm not sure where you are there, but
yeah, I almost singled her. I think she's going to be tough in here, but I also used the 3 Sand Between Your Toes. We know when she's good, she is right there with Kendall Silster every week.
That's a good use on this racetrack.
And she does have early speed.
We'll give our tickets. We got like a minute left. So if you look at my ticket, it's on the website, NAHUpicks.com. I'm 249 with 1789 with 1, and then I'm deep in the last 1, 3, 4, 6, 10. It's $12.
My ticket is 2358 with 1, 2, 4, 6, 9 with 1, 3 with 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. It's $40 for 20 cents, and I punched it.
Yeah, they're headed to the gate here now. Phantom Silster 2 to 5. It's been a very chalky night. I mean, I have to say, there's really.
Well, the chalks are going to the lead. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, except for the first race. Wired the first race, paid $25, and ever since it's been $4, $2, $3, $4. I mean, it's been a lot of things because the front end's winning and the best horses are getting to the front. I don't know. Mission 3 is a pretty good price here at 14 to 1. I don't mind him. I'm going to take a little flyer with him.
I like 15 to 1 on the 8, though. That's looking good. And they might not hit the guarantee, but they are going to the gate at...
No, there's no guarantee in the
oh, yeah, this is the late. Yeah, sorry. So they're at about $40,000 right now. Here's race number 7 at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Pacing Colts and Gelding. Starting gate reaches the top of the stretch. Pacers are lined up. They are picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing. West Lucky Tear is the quickest away, firing to the top for Jameson. Phantom Sealster leaves out well from the inside, followed closely by Dismissal Slip. Driving from the far outside is Shadow Moon right up into the mix. Getting away in 5th from the rails, DeLorean Sealster, followed by Mission 3. Getting in line to Stratosphere, followed by Foot Soldier. He's got swagger and bit of luck. Into the first turn they go, and it's a 3-length advantage for West Lucky Tear. West Lucky Tear puts up an opening quarter of 27 and 3. Phantom Sealster is in 2nd. Dismissal Slip is in 3rd. Dropping into the 4-hole is Shadow Moon in front of DeLorean Sealster, who's on his back. Then followed by Mission 3, Stratosphere, Foot Soldier, he's got swagger, and last is Bit of Luck. They're heading up towards the half. West Lucky Terror the leader. Phantom Sealster in the 2-hole. Now here comes Shadow Moon with a rush. So Shadow Moon is on the outside up into 2nd. Racing in 4th is Dismissal Slip. Coming off the cones is DeLorean Sealster. He'll be followed by Mission 3. The half is 57 and 1. West Lucky Terror was trying to catch a bit of a breather in the 2nd quarter and looking to go the distance, taking them into the far turn with a lead of a little more than a length. On the outside, Shadow Moon is grinding away. Phantom Sealster in the pocket spot. 2nd over is DeLorean Sealster. Buried inside 5th is Dismissal Slip. 3rd over and tipping 3 wide. There goes Mission 3, followed by Foot Soldier. At the rail, Stratosphere. Final 2 are Bit of Luck, and he's got swagger. West Lucky Tear at 3/4 in 1:26. They'll turn for home, and we've got a great stretch drive coming your way. West Lucky Tear out of the 2-hole. Phantom Sealster looking to shoot on by, takes the lead. Mission 3 is on the outside. Foot Soldier also into the mix. Coming to the 8th pole. It's Phantom Sealster with the lead. Phantom Sealster on top by 2. Mission 3 in 2nd. Foot Soldier on the outside. West Lucky Terror in 4th. Get out the brooms. Phantom Sealster sweeps the Harvest Series. It's Phantom Sealster to win. Mission 3 was 2nd. Foot Soldier 3rd. And West Lucky Terror 4th. 154 and 2.
So Phantom Sealster as the chalk wins race number 7 at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And as you can see, we have our first guest joining us right now. Nat Day, live from Western Fair. What's going on?
Hi, not a lot. Just ready to drive home. Finish my night, so ready to hit the wet roads.
Well, I thought you were going to be wearing a mud mask. Now I'm you know.
I was wearing a good one, but I managed to wash it all off.
Well, how's the track tonight? It's been playing kind of odd over there at Western Fair. We've seen some horses went off the pace and went on the front end.
Yeah, the first race it was a little bit wet towards the outside, a little bit sticky. By the time we got to kind of the third race, it had dried up really good. So it was a fast track by the time I left, which was around about 7th race. So.
Now, you just drove in race number 6. You look like you were struggling a little bit there going on the backside, and then she kind of just turned you loose.
Yeah. We were loaded, and I kind of had to shut his air down a little bit, which, cost us a position in the end. But I was surprised he came back on again. He raced really good, so that was his first time back here in a long time, and it's, just different speeds down here compared to Flamborough where he's been racing, so he was kind of a little bit on the chooch a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, over the weekend, you guys go back to Flamborough on Saturday, Sunday. What do you got in over the weekend?
Saturday, I think I've got a couple of drives there. One drive there, Gliding Senorita. She's a nice little trotter. She's been going okay. Last couple of starts were not her best, but she's a consistent little mare. That's pretty much all I've got for Saturday. Sunday, have a day off. I have to go to the Richard Moreau wedding, which is kind of the big deal for the month. So, I actually off for once.
Yeah, you don't get too many days off up there in Ontario.
No, not too many at all. Yeah, I think I just got off from a stint of basically working 60 nights straight, racing and driving and paddocking. So I'm kind of happy to see Sunday night. Yeah,
I don't blame you. Go hard. That's what you have to do. Work hard, play hard, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. You only live once, and you're dead for a long time, so you may as well.
Right. Now, I wanted to get to a point that some others have brought up about the charity you guys have started for a friend in need with breast cancer. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Shannon Henry and I, we've put together a little benefit for Christy Dustin. Her family's been in the racing for numerous years. She's unfortunately got breast cancer now. Her mum fought it. We just kind of felt like it was time for us to get something together for her and help her and the family. She was due to be married in January, I think it was, and she had to cancel the wedding because of the breast cancer. We thought we'd get together, see what we can raise from the horsemen and even the public and friends. And so far it's been a super response, and that's coming up on Monday night at Fair and Mohawk. Both tracks have gladly taken on the effort of having the races for her and the donations, and so it was really nice to see people that really wanted to help her and just help the family at this terrible time, especially over Christmas, which makes things an added worse thing that happened. So it's nice to just help out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great thing you guys are doing, and we were you were actually part of Team to the Moon along with us over the last year or so up there in Ontario, and this is a similar type of thing, but instead of going to a general fund to help breast cancer awareness, this is going to one specific person, correct?
Yeah, 100%. And I suggested it before to Lucarella with Team to the Moon. I said it'd be great if we could help someone in the racing industry, so we know that the money is going 100% to them and it's helping them. For various reasons, we're unable to do it with Team to the Moon. But when this came up, I did approach Maria and Lucarella, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. That we just decided, hey, let's get all this charity to go directly to her, to Christy. And it just, like I said, it snowballed. Shannon Henry got a hold of it, and she pushed this thing down the hill, and it just got rolling. So I can't believe how quick it went, because we've only been organising this for basically the last 3 weeks. So, you know, between racing and Shannon with her and the yearlings and whatnot, it's really taken off, and we appreciate everything that everyone put into it. Everyone's donated. Like, we've got a care basket for Christy with blankets and gift vouchers and, you know, anything you can think of, beanies, scarves, you know, she's got it all there, body lotions. We've had so many donations, it's fantastic.
Mike, you have any questions for her?
So is there a place that you said this is going on Monday, that maybe some of us could donate or anything like that, or people like online could
Yeah, well, for Canada residents, I've set up an e-transfer. They can put it directly to my email account, and I've set up a bank account for Christy, which is nkday888@hotmail.com. Sorry, that's at gmail.com. Don't do Hotmail. And basically, if people from the US or whatnot, if they want to write out a personal check to Christy Dustin, they can always send it to the London Raceway, the Western Fair Raceway, and they will make sure that Christy gets it herself.
Perfect. Now, I do want to get off topic a little bit here. Now, at home, you've got a bird, and you post videos of your bird all over social media. So tell us a little about your bird, because that thing is awesome.
Yeah, so I kind of inherited. I have two birds. They're a pair. They're yellow-headed Amazons. They're actually at the farm at Richard Moreau's where I worked, and Richard decided he was going to turn them loose one day because they were very noisy. And I said, it was the middle of winter, and he said, if these birds don't find a home within the next half an hour, that's it, they're being turned loose in the snow. So I put my hand up. Never had a parrot like this before in my life. And yeah, took them home, and they're a hoot. They're absolutely fantastic to have. They're probably not quite as good as a dog, but they're pretty close. But yeah, you can train them. They talk. They're pretty obnoxious. They get free range of the house. They're pretty well trained. One's vicious, one's lovely and sweet and kind, and the other one basically wants to murder you in your sleep. But other than that, they're pretty cool.
Now, I've seen some pictures. You post the pictures and the videos on your Facebook page quite often of what these birds do when you're not home. Have you started putting them away while you're not home?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you started to put them away while you're not home? Or are they escape artists?
No, they stay loose. The cage is open all the time. They're permanently loose even when I'm not home. The only time I've locked them up a few times is when we've had visitors, because they tend to like to bite your ankles and your feet when you've got new people.
Oh, jeez.
They're pretty good guard dogs.
They're like flying chihuahuas.
They are. They don't fly too much. They're pretty good that way. They pretty much stay on the ground or, climb up things. But, no, they're pretty cool creatures. I'd recommend them to anyone if they want something that's a little bit different. Yeah, they are awesome.
Now, as far as an off-season, you don't really get one up there at the beach tracks in Ontario. And you race at Mohawk a little bit as well. Where do you find the downtime?
What downtime? What is that? What is I guess you kind of just have to make the time. The first couple of years I was over here, it was good because I didn't get as many drives, which is, catch-22. I was chasing the drives, but I wasn't getting as many drives, so then I had time to go off skiing after work and snowboarding and whatnot in the winter, and then summertime I'd be here, there, everywhere, going to places. And now I've just picked up so many drives, and I'm driving every night, and I'm really appreciative of it and thankful, and that's great. But you kind of now don't have the downtime either that you'd love to go and do. So yeah, it's a catch-22. But you make life what you can. So.
Now, when you're driving, do you pay attention to the tow board and things like that? Because it seems like you're always on a lot of like long shots and things, but you bring a lot of those big shots in and things like. Do you pay attention to that, or you just kind of drive your horses and not worry about the board or the program, things like that?
Basically, well, you read the program. You always read the program to know what's going on. When I always know I'm always the longest shot on the board, and that's pretty much I look at the board to go, oh look, I'm 100 to 1 this week. Little chuckles to ourselves, everyone I drive for. I'm like, oh look, we're the longest tonight. What a shame, But I pretty much will look at the board only on the track just to make sure who the favourite is, and I want to try and get on that guy's back. But other than that, it's basically drive my own race because according to the betting, this horse shouldn't even be in the race. So it's just drive the horse the way he normally likes to be driven best, or if they're slow horses and they're just one pace horses, then I'm going to try and get them in the race to do that for the best of their ability. So that's basically, I don't really.
That has to be fun though when you're lining it up at 50 to 1 and you're kind of laughing as you're going by them, knowing you're 50 and everyone else is, that has to be a blast.
Oh, we have a good laugh about it. It is what it is. We take it seriously, but at the end of the day, too, you sit there and you go, well, I'm a long shot. If I can pick up fifth money, I'm wrapped. I'm stoked. And anything better than that, well, we've had a good night. So, that's the way I look at it when you're driving these long ones. You just try and go for that. Always try to go for the win, but, you kind of just hope for if you can get the middle range, you're doing pretty good.
I agree. Well, Nat, I know you're sitting in your car. It's freezing up there. It's freezing down here, so I know it's colder up there.
We're not too bad here. It's not so bad. I've got the heater going, so it's not that terrible.
Well, we'll let you get back home because I know you're ready to go home because you got another long day traveling, working in the morning. Somewhere in there you have to eat. So we'll let you go, and thank you so much. If you want to follow Nat Day on social media, she's on Facebook. Just look her up. You'll find her.
Look for the bird.
Look for the bird, yes. Any shout-outs?
I'd say Mum and Dad, but they wouldn't see any of this.
Well, I tagged you on Facebook, and I know you tuned in a little bit ago before you jumped on.
Yeah. The only shout out I'd probably say to is all my stalkers out there. Hi.
Savage.
That's why.
Savage.
Yeah. I'm heading.
All right, thanks, Nat. We really appreciate it, and you're welcome on the show anytime.
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me on. Had a blast.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
So that was Natasha Day up there at Western Fair. Getting ready to go home from Western Fair. So we thank her for taking time out of her night on her way home.
That was a wide race, the race 8 at Western Fair. Did you watch that, Rod, while we were talking to her, or no?
No, I didn't see it. But I did see the 3-1
race. But before it got second, they were going all over there. There was like 4 or 5 lead changes in that race.
Yeah, they're getting wild toward the end of the night. Well, we've got.
Well, that was nice to have her on, and if everyone's going to donate to the, wants to donate to the charity, I think that's something that also needs to be. And Rod will post all that stuff on Facebook and Twitter, I think, for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Those of you that follow me can definitely check out my Twitter and Facebook accounts. I'll link up whatever Nat sends me to link up for those for that charity for Christy Dustin. So if you're able, donate to it. It'll help them out with all their medical expenses and other unforeseen expenses that nobody looks forward to.
They come together like that for somebody, though. I mean, it seems like every racetrack kind of does that a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing about being a horseman is when somebody's in need, everybody is willing to help and chip in and do the right thing, which is always nice. And that's one thing that I really love about the business is the willingness of everybody to help out no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're competitors night in, night out, you're still friends and you're still human. So that's a big thing. But we've got just a couple minutes.
Race number 8 at Mohawk, getting ready to go.
Yeah, a couple minutes here at Mohawk for race number 8. And the favorite one, leg number 1, this was the leg that was the most wide open, I thought.
4 was live in that first leg, too. I mean, the 2 got a perfect trip. The 4 kind of had to go 3 wide. I'm not sure if he'd have caught the winner, but, he was live in that race for sure. But
now,
it's been lots of favorites tonight. I mean, pick 4 paid $5, so, I mean, that's,
Yeah, I'm hoping the favorites are out of it here because current favorite is the 8 Bernadette at 2-1, which I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 is a great price, especially the way the track speed, has been. The surprising horse that's being bet is the 9. I mean, that horse is getting major action here.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the value play, but I was wrong there. The 2 right now is the value.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into the 2, 14-1 is a good price. I'm going to punch a little ticket here on the 1 here. I think that, 5-1, that's very good value. For a horse that should be close early, and that's what you need to be. And the major competitors are drawn outside. I mean, you have 7, 8, and 9 way out. So the 1...
Right, and she's going from...
While the rail wasn't necessarily the greatest place at Mohawk, it's better than the 8 and the 9, I'd say. So.
Yeah, and, last week, this mare had the 10 hole and fired from the 10 hole.
She raced really well from the 10.
So, I mean, you can expect her to be up close, and this is a race where there's not really a lot of speed in. So, if she can get away soft on the front, she's going to be tough. But...
Yeah, I expect her to get... I think she's going to be sitting maybe, 2nd or 3rd early. But, I mean, it's... You don't necessarily have to be right on the lead to win. You just have to be very close within the last quarter of a mile. There's nothing coming from very far back.
I agree. For me, this is one of those races where who's going to be up close? Because there's not a ton of speed. So I'm looking at 1, 2, and 4 as being right there early on. And the 9, Anderson Sealster, obviously shows some speed, but gets an outside draw, so may not show that speed here.
How about only $133 left in live money at London in the pick 4? That's not a lot.
Wow.
When you consider what's won the first 2
After
races.
2 legs?
After 2 legs, $133.
Holy crap.
We're both alive, yeah?
The ticket that I played, I'm live. My original ticket, I'm not live. I didn't use the 3 there.
Okay. Well, I took them all, so obviously I was using that horse anyway, but irregardless, I mean, a pair of 3s to start to pick 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy to me, to be honest. I don't know how there's only, what'd you say, 133?
$133 left, that's it.
Wow,
that's what it said, unless I misread it.
That's incredible. Shout out to Sugar Doyle, who's watching right now. Paul Kelly, one of our sponsors at the Breeders' Crown. Thanks for watching and sponsoring. Mark Anderson, Brian Mahoney, Keelan McDonald, Doug Hunt, Kelsey Ingraham.
Yeah, 133. Sugar says 133 live from a pool of 7, 8, 6, 9. That's not very much left.
Wow, this could be decent pick 4.
Nice yeah, that's a nice ticket.
But
we thought it was going to be good, though.
They are behind the gate for race number 8 at Mohawk, so here it is. Mark McKelvey with the call.
Starting gate.
I like McKelvey on the call, by the way.
Pacers are lined up, picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing. We got some outside levers in the form of Anderson Sealster and Bernadette. Blasting from the center is Beach Goddess, and the inside pair Pretty Hot and Ruby's Prescott are also into the mix. So things will shake out here heading to the first turn. At the inside, Bernadette. On the outside, Anderson Sealster. The rail starter, Ruby's Prescott, pushes ahead to get third. Pretty Hot will drop in behind, racing in fourth. Followed fifth by Beach Goddess as they go around the turn. Pacing along in sixth is Sinalta Call Girl, followed by Dazzling Rockette. Then it's She's a Real Deal and Roll with Sparky. The opening quarter was 27-3. Anderson Sealster is the leader as they straighten out into the backstretch. Bernadette in second, Ruby's Prescott in third. Pretty Hot is racing in fourth. Fifth is Beach Goddess, followed by Leaving a Legacy. Then it's Sinalta Call Girl coming to the outside. Dazzling Rockette will follow her, staying at the rail as She's a Real Deal. 2.5 lengths back to Roll with Sparky. They're heading up towards the half, and Anderson Sealster at 7-2 is calling the shots. 27-3 was the opening quarter. The half is on the board in 57 seconds even. 29-2 second quarter. Anderson Sealster the leader by a pair entering the far turn. Bernadette in second. On the outside being pushed is Pretty Hot as she's trying to advance, but not really, and that might disrupt the outer flow. Racing in third is Ruby's Prescott, followed on the inside by Sinalta Call Girl. We'll see if Beach Goddess is going to go 3 wide. Looks like Leaving a Legacy is ready to go in that direction. Splitting between horses is She's a Real Deal. Roll with Sparky, and the trailer is Dazzling Rockette. Meanwhile, up at the front, Anderson Sealster looks to break away. 125-1 for 3 quarters. Bernadette is about 3 lengths back in second, and then it's back to everyone else. They come to the 8th pole. It's Anderson Sealster looking to go the distance. Bernadette comes to the outside. She'll look to power on by. Anderson Sealster and Bernadette. It's down to these two, and they will slug it out with a 16th to go. Anderson Sealster at the inside. Bernadette on the outside. They're going toe-to-toe, coming to the line. Anderson Sealster and Bernadette at the line. Bernadette gets there. Anderson Sealster was second. She's a Real Deal third, and Pretty Hot was fourth. 155-1.
Well, no, he called this for the 8, but it's closer than you think.
Nah, the 8 got there.
No.
Chalk to start that pick 4. So that's going to pay nothing.
Well, yeah, being that Kendall Sealster is going to win the next.
Well, I almost got the 9 there. Tried.
Ooh, that was close. That was a great drive, though, on the 9. I mean...
Yeah, I think he gassed a little too early.
Couldn't hang. The 2 actually raced pretty well, considering that she was first up. She ended up holding on for 4th. God, the 1 was bad.
Yeah, she's not right. She's way off her game.
That was bad. She was in a perfect spot and just totally dropped out. God, how's a 9 get beat off that trip? Whew. That is brutal if you had the 9.
Shout out to the Hanover Hustler, Russ Adams, tuned in right now.
Nice.
He was supposed to be at a football game and got canceled. Snowed out, I'm assuming.
Russ does a lot of work over Rosecroft. Does good work over there.
Yes, he got... if you haven't checked out Rosecroft, he just got some pics. They're posting pics on the screen now for every race. Make sure you check out Rosecroft.
He gives you a lot of prices, too. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
He gives you prices.
Russ knows his stuff, and we've had Russ on the show. We definitely respect his opinion because he's a good handicapper. But we're about halfway through the show, and we've got about 4 or 5 minutes until this race at Western Fair goes off. The whole second hour is going to be the last couple races from Mohawk and Western Fair, and we're going to spend the entire hour, other than when Jay Harris jumps on, talking about the Meadowlands for tomorrow night. Stakes eliminations and the pick 4 from the Meadowlands. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and Jay Harris will be on momentarily.
So I want to thank all of you for letting me come back here to see, what really happens backstage. It's an honor for me to be able to be in front of all of you, especially you and you and you. But I do have to say that there's money on the line out there, and you don't want to go out on the track and, do something that seems a little bit iffy, just, get that extra check because it might come back to haunt you a bit later. So clean and fair competition is all I want to see from all you guys, all right? Yes.
Can I pick up a pylon and hold it until the stretch and then throw it to somebody passing me?
That to me does not sound clean and fair. That sounds, in fact, not clean and very unfair. And also kind of inconvenient. So, are you getting off the horse, or... No. Okay. Yes.
Is it all right if you're gonna loop the field and drag your whip in a manner and then flip off the judges or anything?
I mean,
that's not okay.
If the camera doesn't see it, but it doesn't seem like a good idea because the camera could always keep that. Yes.
Is it okay if I drink this during the race?
No. That can get you pulled over by the horsey police that are following you around the track there. That's a bad idea. That's very unfair, very unclean. I'd check your liver if I were you. Okay, so, yes.
Is it okay to challenge somebody with a foot race after the race?
I don't see anything wrong with that. That seems pretty...
What if he's over 65?
And he has tennis shoes and you have boots.
So he's old and he's not wearing shoes?
But he's from California.
No, he wears tennis shoes.
He's from California.
But if they're tennis shoes and he's from California, doesn't that mean he's fit and vegan?
Actually, he is.
Then he's definitely clean, and that to me seems unfair for whoever's going against him.
Yeah, because they have boots on.
I just want to see you guys out there racing those horses as fairly as you possibly can. All right. So do we have everyone clear on that? Clean and fair. No drinking and driving. No pylons. No middle fingers. Foot races are okay. I'm focused more on the horse foot races. Okay. So that seems clean and fair to everybody. I feel like that's a no. Someone's hiding something.
Juan, what do you think?
Juan?
¿Cómo estás?
That's tú, Juan.
Oh, that's...
¿Es correcto si pateas el caballo cuando va en la carrera?
Sí.
Sí.
Sí. Sí. Yeah.
That sounds clean and fair to me. Go out and do that. Everyone follow his lead, all right? That's what I want to see, okay? Which is fair. So we're gonna end this on a chant, all right? Clean and fair.
No.
Clean and fair.
Never.
I'm hooking somebody.
And we're back for our number deuce. Deuce, like that. Can you read that, Mike? You know what that says?
What's that say? Something about poo.
It says...
The weather's poo?
This weather, and then there's an arrow pointing to a pile of poo that says, this is poo.
Classy. Classy.
But our number two, like we mentioned before
We
the
got
break...
30 seconds to London. 7-1 in the 2? Are you joking?
Our two features the Meadowlands, the last two races at Western Fair, and the last two races at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Meadowlands for tomorrow.
Meadowlands for tomorrow.
Exactly.
Stakes races, eliminations for next weekend's finals. And, by the way, we will be doing an extra for next weekend for those finals and the Pick 4, which we will have posted midweek sometime.
When are we doing that? We doing that on Thanksgiving? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we could do it on Thanksgiving. We'll do it at some point. We'll figure it out. We'll let
You know,
everybody
Ray, he's very focused on his eating. So we have to, be careful.
Right.
Because he's always worried about dinner and when he's making lunch and stuff like that. He's very focused on food.
I'm focused on food, but I'll eat whenever. All right, here's race number 9 from Western Fair. 3 to 5 favorite, Star Photo.
Continues to be Star Photo.
Too low.
3 to 5. Carol on for putty. Here they come. Off and trotting Star Photo, the chestnut out first, alongside second Revenue Agent to be seated up close. Irish Thunder trotting from third. And Trotting fourth now, Broadway Maya from the back tier spot. Settling down into fifth will be Beer Before Noon. That came ahead of Adventure Ahead. At the back of the bus for No Trouble to Shafra. Loose on the lead. Star Photo back in London, back on the lead where he likes it. Fronting here by 2.5 lengths. A headstrong Star Photo opened this one up in 29-3. Revenue Agent looks at it from second. Irish Thunder continues to roll along in third with Broadway Maya fourth. Gapped off slightly fifth was Beer Before Noon. Next to last, Adventure Ahead getting underway from seventh. No Trouble to Shafra. No trouble thus far for Star Photo. Made the lead quite easily and goes along unchallenged here with a lap to go. Star Photo leads by 1.5 lengths. Revenue Agent continues to track second. Irish Thunder eyes the outside from third with Broadway Maya looking to follow up the live cover. 1:02 the half. Star Photo leading with 3/8 left to go. He gets a reminder to go on in here. Irish Thunder now pulls along to the wheel of that leader. Irish Thunder being roused here by Tyler Moore. Inside third is Revenue Agent. Second over, towed right up into it now is Broadway Maya. Here's 3/4 and 1:30 flat. It was 29-3 through the third. And now it's a neck in front for Irish Thunder, who's going a big one. Star Photo at 4-5. Could not take him. Broadway Maya, soon to be second here. And in behind, Star Photo was Revenue Agent. Down the stretch they come. Irish Thunder leading here. Broadway Maya's coming, though. Broadway Maya quickly on the outside. Irish Thunder. Broadway Maya. Final strides, wins it. Irish Thunder second best. Star Photo third. Revenue Agent fourth. 2 minutes, 2/5.
So that was the 8 Broadway Maya at, what kind of odds you get there? 5-2.
5-2. Yeah.
5-2, pretty good.
God, I thought the 8 was going to finish it. Oh, sickening. Looked like she snuck away.
2? The 2, you mean?
Yeah, the 2. Yeah.
At 8-1, yeah.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was finishing that, but didn't.
Well, if you checked out NAHUpicks.com, 2, 3, and 8 were the numbers.
Yeah, I was the same way. Live in the last leg of the pick 4, I'm keyed to the 6 rods. Alive to a few, I think, for sure.
1, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
But we've got other business to take care of tonight.
What's that?
Meadowlands. As we wait on Jay Harris to jump in on the show here.
I'm sure he will.
He's probably got to take a poo. He just finished driving.
Here we go with that again.
So,
where are we going? Are we looking at the stakes first?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's do that.
The Meadowlands tomorrow night. Race number 1 is a Valley Victory elimination for 2-year-old Colton Gelding trotters. The top 5 advance to the final next week for $400 some odd $1,000. It's a field of 7 here, so you only got to beat 2. So basically, as a 2-year-old trotter, stay flat. This is one of those races, short field, but highly competitive field. And that's what really makes this race tough, because you got a horse like Southwind Avenger, who was second in the Ontario Sire Stakes Gold Final, made a ton of money. You got Breeders' Crown, final contender Prospect Hill, who ended up making a break in that race and hasn't raced since then, so off 3 weeks. And then you've got a horse like Battenberg, who won last week, was actually my top pick last week at 7-1. Bang, bang, if you hit that. Wide open race here. I'm curious what angle you're taking here and what horse you're taking, Mike.
Well, the horse I like, of course, shockingly enough, is the Woodbine horse, which is the 4 Tricks and Stones. And if you watch that race on November 8th, I mean, they were 1-9 in the race, but, it was more like very much a prep. Really, the horse was given no chance the entire way around. Just kind of let him go around there and finish up and, whatever. But, this horse raced very well in Lexington on the big track. And, if you go back and watch that October 4th race, this horse was extremely live late with Scott Zeron. Probably should have won that race. Prior to that, ran second to Green Manalishi, who's a really nice horse, would be very much favored in this race. If you look at the Pocono lines, this horse was outposted both times, had no chance in the elimination. In the final, had absolutely no chance. I mean, especially the way that track was. We were there that night. I feel like, and here, this is another elimination, but, this horse is going to be much better from off the pace. Gets a perfect spot, and I feel like it's going to be coming late. Can he win the race? Maybe. I mean, I think he can, depending on what the 2 does, who's laid up. The 6 and 7 might not be quite as good as these other ones inside. If you look at the horse like Hudson River, this horse had perfect post at Pocono. That's why he was getting thirds. Prior to that was just okay at Lexington. Lost to Tricks and Stones on October the 4th. This horse is decent enough, but, you're going to get 6 to 5 on that horse and probably 7, 8 to 1 on the 4. So I'm more interested in a horse like the 4, hoping that this is the goal all along and that he's unleashed here with a little bit of a better setup.
I actually agree with you on that horse, Tricks and Stones. I watched that race last week. He was given no chance to win from that spot. They went way too slow up front. They just crawled around the track, and he basically just sprinted home with the rest of them. Still raced very well. Comes back to the mile track now. No reason not to play this horse. And you're getting decent value here. But another one that I think is kind of overlooked a little bit just because you're seeing some odd lines there is the one Prospect Hill. You got those Pocono lines where, he made a break in the Breeders' Crown Final. The 3-week layoff doesn't bother me at all because it is Andy and Julie Miller. They'll have this horse ready, at least for the final. They're going to sit up close, stay flat, and sit up close tomorrow. But this is a horse that I would be using because if you go 2 back in that elimination for the Breeders' Crown, he had no chance to win from post 7. And then you go back a little farther, and you start seeing some early speed lines. Lexington, he showed early speed. At the Meadows, he showed early speed. So he's got some sneaky good lines there, and he won a 55 mile at Delaware. I think he's the value play in the race. He's not a key player by any means, but this is one that I think deserves to take a little bit of money. But you're going to get good value, so I would use him along with the 4, Tricks and Stones, who is probably going to take a little more money than you would think in this race, to be honest.
I don't know. Off that last line, I don't. It depends on how much money the 2 takes. The 6 and 7 are obvious in there.
Yeah, the 6 and 7 are the obvious ones. I don't have much more to add there, so I'm just going to skip over race number 2 because Mick Wickett is in there. Doubt he's losing.
That'll be fun to watch, but worthless to bet.
Yeah, he's 2 to 5 more
him, which is pretty hard to be against him. The way how good he's been unbelievable.
So we're going to skip ahead to race number 4. This is the 2nd division of the Valley Victory 2-year-old colt trotters eliminations. Here you got a field of 8, and this one I thought was a little bit of a better field overall than what the first division was. And you've got highly competitive horses here, including Super Shizzle, who just won the Matron at Dover, and a horse like Forbidden Trace, who won the Ontario Sire Stakes Gold Final, and then was laid up a little bit there, missed a few weeks, but put in 2 qualifiers, who I think is going to take some money, but you know this horse better than I would, Mike. What do you think of Forbidden Trade here?
He's good. He's very talented. He's not necessarily beating the best horses up there in those entire Ontario Sire Stakes, and those golds and things. I mean, he was, by far one of the better ones in those races. I mean, he won 7 out of 9. The connections are top of the line. Obviously wasn't eligible to the I don't think he was eligible to the Breeders' Crown, so they just skipped that and wait for this. he's a nice horse, but I think he's going to be overbet a little bit. Some of these other ones have been knocking heads with the top stakes horses, and we'll just see. I mean, I could see them kind of sitting and maybe getting a piece here, waiting for the final. That's a possibility, especially coming off those 2 qualifiers and this being an elimination. That's one thing that would scare me about the horse. I think that Super Shizzle is extremely sharp. That was the Breeders' Crown races were decent. Has raced well here at the Meadowlands already. Raced really well in Lexington. That Dover race dominated. Now, albeit a 4-horse field, but I would expect him to control it here with Yannick again. The 4-7 Hills has raced well at the Meadowlands, just broke was 1-9 in the kindergarten final for 200,000 and broke. I mean, that's kind of sickening, but won every other race before that. So he's sort of interesting. We talked about Forbidden Trade. Like you said, there might be better horses in here, but I think there's less win candidates maybe.
Yeah, and I agree with that assessment there. The race overall is better. This is the better field of horses. But as far as win candidates, I kind of agree. There's only a couple that I like in here. The 3 Union Forces, coming off a good race last time at Dover in the Matron, did get beat by Super Shizzle in that race. But this is a big track. This is a different story. I think moving back to the big track, you see those 2 starts at Lexington. We're okay. He's got early speed. I think he's going to look to get covered up early and could be the potential price play. He never really takes a ton of money, and that's kind of the weird thing about this horse. You look down at Lexington, 4 starts back in the Bluegrass, he goes off 3-1. The very next week in the International Stallion, he's 16-1 against the same horses. So it's a really odd tote. What's the word I'm looking for? He plays very oddly against similar horses week in to week out. So kind of take a look at what his odds are on the tote board and play that one by ear. But for me, I think Super Shizzle is going to be the horse off of that last one in the Matron at Dover. Obviously, he's the one to beat at this point right now, just because Forbidden Trade has missed a little bit of time. He did put 2 good qualifiers in, and he's been extremely sharp. That's not the issue for me. It's just the time off in a racing environment, really. Super Shizzle has a race recently. He shows a big track line. Yannick stays on the drive, so I'm going to kind of play him, see what the tote board looks like, because I think he's going to take more money than what you think at 4-1 morning line. That's going to be tough. But we're about halfway through over at Mohawk. We're going to get you over there real quick.
Now the tempo ramps up as they enter the far turn. Stand between your toes on the outside, looking to get up to the leader's wheel. Exhilarated, trying to stay with the leader, being asked by Drury. It's about 2 lengths back then to PL Hurricane. Request for parole. She's going to have to really pick it up. And Baraki is last 3 quarters, 124-2. 27 1 third quarter. Off the turn and into the stretch. The sprint continues. It's Kendall Sealster with the lead. Stand between your toes is going to have to dig deep. Exhilarated, looking to angle out, and then in 4th that is PL Hurricane, 16th to go, and the leader is still Kendall Sealster. Exhilarated, trying to inch in a little closer. Stand between your toes and PL Hurricane. Deep stretch now. Kendall Sealster still with the lead. Exhilarated is coming, and so too is PL Hurricane. 3 across at the line. Exhilarated got there to win it. It's Exhilarated in 153-3.
Wow. What a finish. Perfect drive. Got up right at the wire. 12-1.
Range trip right there. Whenever that horse wins, that horse gets that trip.
Perfect drive.
If you look at my write-ups on, what did I write in here? I have to say this. Exhilarated draws well for his usual perfect trip that leads to big checks. That's what my write-up says.
Right. Spot on. Spot on there, Mike. So these pick 4s at Western Fair are large. for what's come in. The ones I'm live to, the 1 is paying $200. The 5 is paying $166. The 6 is paying $87. So that's the big favorite here. And then the 7 is paying $161, all for 20 cents.
Yeah, let's root for the 6 for me, because I need them.
No, I need the 1. $200.
Well, I need the 6 for $200, because
Well,
I have it a couple times.
Yeah, that would cost me $113.
It wouldn't cost me anything.
Well, I'm rooting for the 1. If the 1 can't win, then I'm going to root for the 5, and then the 7, and then the 6.
Okay, thanks, Rod.
But we've got more races to talk about. After Exhilarated just made the pick 4 at Mohawk actually pay something.
It'll be better now.
Yeah.
Still not great.
Well, you got Kendall Sealster beat. That's the key there.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just one of those nights.
But we're moving on at the Meadowlands. We're gonna wait at the Meadowlands for this last race at Western Fair because there's only a couple minutes here. They should be on the track
Well, there's
now.
we could talk about one more race here, probably that other stake race if you want to.
Well, they're out
get
in,
long-winded.
yeah, they're out in parading already. They're going to the gate here in about 2 minutes. So this is race 10 at Western Fair. You have the program up, Mike?
Sure.
So if you're looking at the tote board right now, what are you seeing in this race? Shout out to Cassidy Snyder who's watching. She didn't have anything in tonight at Western Fair, so she's at home doing nothing, watching us.
That's nice of her. What do I see? I see the 6 is 2-1, which I figured that the horse was going to take money off this drop.
Yeah.
You know, all the inside horses are being played. I'm a little surprised at the money the 1 is taking. But he is the 1. But, you know, was beat 30 lengths last time. I mean, what happened there, Rod?
I don't know what happened there. That one kind of puzzled me. I
like,
just kind of tossed
it.
it.
Believed bad, like, you know, maybe like equipment problem that we don't know about, something, you know what I mean? Something like that. You see a line like that and you just have to throw it away, I guess.
Yeah. I kind of thought maybe the horse choked down or something like that, and that's why he stopped so bad. But
you know, the 3's taking money. This horse has never really taken money in its life. Is 8-1.
Yeah, the 3's not for me.
Well, not for me either, but I'm telling you, he's being bad. I mean, he was 20-1 last time.
How about the 5 here?
4-1 off 2 really bad lines. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I guess Carol getting on. I think it's the 6 and the 7 for me. We got 2 minutes to post.
Well, what about the 5? The 5 shipping down. I've been all over these horses shipping down from Quebec and PEI. These horses have been racing pretty well.
That's fine, but I just don't. I mean, is he fast enough to win this race? I don't know. I mean, you know, Mackenzie does get him away from there. I'll give you that. You know, it is a 4-year-old, lightly raced sort. You know, only 19 lifetime starts as a 4-year-old. So, a little cheap for me. Can he win? Maybe. I don't know. I prefer the 6 and the 7, but I'm single to the 6. I want to see what the exact 6, 7 are paying. That might be worth a little. You know, the 5 is taking money. So
5 is currently 5-2, taking a lot of money actually.
Yeah, I'm not really being bet in the exactas necessarily.
So if I'm Mike Perbozzi, what am I playing in this race?
Well, currently I have.
What
I'm
type
box.
of bet?
What am I betting? I'm gonna do a $10 exacta box 6-7. That's how I'm gonna bet this race. That's my plan if I can get this in.
I can't say I don't mind that play. It's a decent play. For me, this is a race where it's so wide open underneath. You're gonna have a tough time trying to find horses that are not usable, I guess would be the word.
Well, I can see a lot that are not usable.
Well, I mean underneath. I'm talking about underneath.
I mean, yeah, okay.
So, for me, I would be playing a high 5 here.
Okay.
I'm going to go 1-6 with the 1, 5, 6, and 7. And then key those horses again for third. And then throw in the 4 for fourth, and then just hit all for fifth.
Okay. Fifth?
But behind the gate for the finale at Western Fair, Sugar Doyle's got the call for the last. Anything you say? Fifth?
Race 10 Pacers, pick up speed. Here they come. For a mile and a 16th in London. There they go. Leaving sharply, Encore Panic, BR Royal Boom farthest out is Warwi Toronto. Those three with the early speed, the best speed for Encore Panic Mackenzie. BR Royal Boom left out for second. Way up on the outside, Warwi Toronto inside to be fourth. 88 Fingers Louis, they straighten for the backside run. Encore Panic up and at 'em early. BR Royal Boom is looking to settle down now in second. Parked out thus far. Warwi Toronto is third. Fourth and in for 88 Fingers Louis. Could be a long night here at the office for Warwi Toronto. So the leader was Encore Panic. He got the turn. Driving on here now, Warwi Toronto.
Yeah, let's get to the front and then sit down on them.
They're 3 and 4 high there briefly. Encore Panic in front. Warwi Toronto with the long trip on the outside in second. Third and in for BR Royal Boom. Second over into 4. Travels Time for Wine. Blinkers on. Horn blowing there. Fifth and in, 88 Fingers Louis. Silky Cam is setting it up third over. Then it's back to Good Timing, and trailing was Dash Mira. Just over 3/8 left to go for the newcomer, Encore Panic. Warwi Toronto right on his wheel here. A little bit sluggish on that front end mission tonight. Encore Panic. Warwi Toronto is living on the outside. BR Royal Boom is still up there in the top 3, trying to come through. His 88 Fingers Louis way up on the outside. Was Time for Wine. Final turn action now. A bumpy gated.
Yeah, this is the worst I've ever seen.
Encore Panic still there. Warwi Toronto still coming. Way up on the outside. 23-1 Bomber. Good timing. 4 and 5 wide for the drive home. Encore Panic. Warwi Toronto hopelessly blocked. BR Royal Boom. To the wire they come. Who's got it? Who's going to win it? Silky Cam or Encore Panic?
Did he hang on?
Tight on the line.
All right, you know, the flag should be disqualified for that drive. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous what just happened there. That's terrible. I mean, he interfered with the entire field the whole way around. It's terrible to let that go. If there's not even an inquiry in the race, it's just unreal.
I don't know what they're going to do. It was kind of a...
They're not going to do anything.
I hope not, because I got to pick 4 then.
Whatever. Let that garbage go like that. That's terrible.
$166. By the way, the 1 was absolutely loaded with go, along with the 6.
Okay, the whole damn field was loaded with go because he sat there with an anchor the whole way around and kept backing into everybody.
Well, they had plenty of chances to go by him on the outside, and they couldn't get by him.
Well, yeah, because the 7 sat there. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, we've got other races.
Yeah, we best get to them before I throw something.
Race number 7 tomorrow night at the Meadowlands. This is the elimination for the Governor's Cup for for 2-year-old colt Pacers. Pacers this time for the Governor's Cup. $400,000 and change for the final. 3 horses got buys into the final. That were Sugar Factory, Semi-Tough, and Blood Money. So the top 7 meet those 3 in the final. And you got a field of 10 here. Highly competitive field. This is one of those races I wish was in the pick 4, because this race, several horses I think can win. And it's just an extremely tough race to handicap, I think. That's my opinion. Start us off here, Mike. Who do you like and why?
I don't mind the 4, Reigning Deo, who raced extremely well at Dover off the bench. And this horse raced, well earlier this year. Has made $219,000, most of which in that New York Sire Stakes final. But that was a tough trip, and still won there. That was a huge race last time off the bench. Kicked home 27-2 in that matron from the 7-hole at Dover, which is absolute graveness. It's really tough to win from the outside there. That was a huge race, especially, I would say that this horse was 36-1 there. You won't even get anywhere close to that. You're probably going to get 5-1 or so. I like Pelling. And when he has a good horse, he does really well. I think that this horse, especially being lightly raced, has a big chance here getting back to the big track. Max Power, too, is another one that I like. Has raced well here. Just missed in the kindergarten final. I like Silva. I really like his horses. Another one that's, fairly lightly raced. And gets the outside draw, but I think is capable of getting away from there. I'm sort of against Captain Crunch off that perfect trip in the Breeders' Crown, and you haven't seen that horse since. And he's good. He's made a lot of money. I don't really know that I want him in this race. I would probably be more 4-9 and maybe a little 1, because I like that race. That horse comes out of the same race as the 4 does, and raced well enough there. I like Marcus. Another one that has some back lines, especially that Lexington line, kicked 26-1. That's huge. That's a really, any horse that can do that, that shows you a lot of talent. And, obviously the horse likes a big track. Big price there, 149 for me in that race.
Yeah, we're a little bit on the same page here. I do like the 1. That's the price play, probably of the whole night, to be honest with you. He's got a big late kick. He likes the big track. He got a little bit of a break there, a couple weeks off, and came back in the matron, raced pretty well. This is his second start back off that short rest. I think he's going to be better. He's got the rail. He's going to sit up close. He's not going to move. He's one to be playing for value in your exotics plays. A must-use for me. The 4 Reigning Deo is pretty obvious. He fits well at this level against the, I guess, second tier of these 2-year-old colts. This is his type of race to be right there once again. He's going to take money. I think he's going to get bet pretty heavy, to be honest. The 8 Captain Crunch is another one I like. He likes the big track. He seems to be best on the big track. He won the Breeders' Crown final. That was off a perfect trip, but, you have to respect this horse. 3-1 morning line. I don't know if you're going to get that or not, but he's a definite player. He's got early speed. They disqualified the 6 from 5th at Western Fair. But those are my main contenders there. The 9 Max Power, I think, plays here with Dave Miller. He's been pretty sharp his last 2 starts, and he's got early speed, so I expect to see him moving early toward the front. And he likes the Meadowlands, so this is one that I think you got to play, and you're going to get value on him as well. So moving on to the pick 4 at the Meadowlands. By the way, we just hit that pick 4 at Western Fair. Bang, bang, 166, money. Looks like Jay just texted me back. Okay, this is leg number 1, race number 8 tomorrow. $50,000 guaranteed, pick 4. This is a non-winners at 8,500. Last 5 starts on the pace, and you got a field of 9 here, Mike. Why don't you start us off? Tell us what you're using.
Okay, so I'm 4 deep in that first leg. And I think it's one of those races, if you look at it, yeah, it's numbers of 8,500, but there's a lot of horses dropping in. So it actually probably plays more like a numbers of 11.5, things like that, just with the field that it is, just to my eye anyway. 4 deep there. The 2 G's Joe. This horse was racing numbers of 16,000, stuck against Dragon Time, Ocean Colony, Awesomeness. Those are, very tough horses. Gets a little bit of a drop, draws well, has been bred at that upper level, and I think fits pretty well here. The 3, Ballarat Boomerang, gets back to the big track, and, this horse raced very well at the Meadowlands earlier in the year, raced well at Mohawk, prefers the big track for search, gets a little bit of a drop in class, and gets Andy Miller here. This horse has 7 wins this year, 6 wins last year. He knows where the wire is, and I think the big track will definitely help. The 5, Play Jet Ray. If you watch a replay of this horse last time, the number was 8,500. This horse raced extremely well from the 10 hole, was live late, kicked home 26-4, ran into K. Ryan Blue Chip, who was, is racing extremely well right now. I think this horse plays in this race, drawing a lot better, and just sharp enough right now to, even though this is a little bit tougher field, can, I think, play well. And then the 7, Sam's Triple Crown. This horse loves this racetrack, gets Lasix. Last race wasn't very good, but that's okay. You're going to get a price on this one. I like that McCarthy sticks. I think that, getting Lasix, this horse has gone 49-1 on this racetrack, so he's capable and probably will be ignored, and I'll use him that way. So 2, 3, 5, 7 to start.
We're a little bit on the same page. I'm using 2 of those horses. The 2 G's Joe. I don't have too much to add with him. He's dropping in class. Coming off a decent effort against much tougher. He's going to be the key player in the race. But I think there's others that fit with him. The 4 Dull Roar on a class drop as well. 2 starts back. He finished 2nd at this level over at Pocono. His 2nd start on the big track now. Coming off a really good race there. Gets Dave Miller to drive. I think he's a must-play here. He hits the board often. Over half of his starts, he's hit the ticket. So from this spot, I think he's going to follow cover. There's some early speed here that helps him get the right setup. So I'm going to use him. You get decent value as well with Dave Miller driving. The 5, Play Jet Ray. 10 hole last week at this level, come first over. He had a 2 move there. That was a pretty tough trip. Raced very, very well at 13-1. Tomorrow he should get a much easier trip. I see him leaving and looking to tuck in maybe the 2 hole, or get to the lead and let somebody go is kind of what I'm thinking. Nat Day's talking crap to Jay Harris on the feed here.
Oh, nice.
But Play Jet Ray, he definitely fits. Much better draw, must play. And then the 8 Mind Trip. You get a 9-2 morning line for the Wrens, shipping in from Hoosier. I'm a little cautious with these Hoosier shippers, kind of like you are, Mike, but he's got 7 wins on the year. I think he plays here. The post is the obvious concern, but he's been facing some pretty tough ones in those open 2s over at Hoosier. So maybe with the right trip, he can get there in this race against a little bit lesser horses than he's been facing at Hoosier. Race number 9 is leg 2. This is the non-winners of 5,000, last 5 on the pace. You got another field of 9 here. And I thought this race was okay betting-wise. You get a little bit of value because I really don't see a big favorite in any horses in this race. So I'll start this one with the 3 Still Frisky. Mike Merton drives here, and he's got a big drop in class back to where he was 2 starts ago, where he ended up winning by 2 lengths with Vic Kirby driving. The horse likes the Meadowlands. He raced pretty competitively last week against tougher horses. This spot seems to fit him best, and he's in for the claiming tag as well, so I'm going to use him. I don't know if you're going to get that morning line or not. He's kind of an iffy one, especially because he won at this level 2 back from an outside post. He gets an inside post. Maybe he's going to take a little bit of money. We'll see. The 5, Major Authority. He's finished last 2 starts in a row, which is a little bit concerning. Last week I thought was a much, much better start, though, so I'm not too concerned. He gets a class drop, which is much needed. He won here 3 starts back at this level, and this seems to be the right spot for him. He's got the 5-hole. Good draw here. Corey Callahan should be more aggressive with him tomorrow night. He is a 3-year-old against older. That is a little bit of an issue, but I don't mind him in this spot. The 9, Express Stride, always a play when he's in at this level. This is the lowest I think he's been in. If he's not close off the wings, there's an issue. He raced very, very well last week, got locked in until late, and had tons of pace late. He's a must-play for me. He's probably going to be an even money favorite.
Agree on the price on the 9. He was locked the entire way last time, and finally got out, kicked 26 and 3, looked live the whole way around. Just ran into a couple tough ones. I expect him to be, tough in the race. I would think that they're going to leave with him there. If you look back in the 9-hole back on October 20th, he was involved early. I like Marcus sticking on here, and expect him to be chalk, but he is on the 9-hole, and he is a closer, so he might have to pass them all. I'll try 3 others inside. The One Life Happened, I think, is interesting. This is Blake McIntosh, dropped last time, ran into Bushwhacker, Rock the Night. Those are better horses than these. Then, was stuck in the Ghost Pine race 2 back, and they went 50 and 1. That was a tough race. This horse keeps getting checks, drawing well. I think it's going to be ignored on the board, so I'm going to use him. The 2, Dream Fair Mesa. This horse raced well, numbers of 3,500, steps up, just missed in that race. And, he fits at this level. I like the fact that he came from Northfield and then, popped here, first time Meadowlands. And this horse does well on big tracks, keeps Brett Miller. I think you're going to get a little price there. And I agree on the 3, Still Frisky, gets a drop, always kicks home well. Really had no chance last time. Prior to that, crushed that 15 claimer. He's, I don't know. I think he's interesting enough to use in the race. So 1, 2, 3, 9.
Moving on, leg number 3. This is a 9-winner's 8,500 last 5. This is the most wide open race I thought of the sequence. There's several that I'm using here. The 2, Sweet Beach. Took about a month and a half off. Put 2 qualifiers in. Got a start in. Raced very well at the 9-winners at 10,000 level. Slight drop in class here. I think he's a play. Shipping to the big track. I think for the first time in a long time, he's coming back to the big track. So I like the spot for him, especially from the inside. The 3, Jacks Are Lucky 2. We know he likes the Meadowlands. He fits well at this level. He just needs a trip. He's always been a trip horse. If he can get the right one, then maybe he can pull it off. I've had bad luck with this horse, though, if you remember that, Mike, for about $9,000 earlier in the year.
I do remember.
The 6.
I do remember the fact that you remember your beats a lot more than you do your scores.
Yeah, because there's beats and there's bad beats, and that was a bad beat. The 6, McThriller. This one has early speed. He's shown early speed the last 2 starts, but if you look back prior to that, he's been ducking off the wings and coming from off the pace. I think he plays. He's very versatile. Good spot to be following live cover here behind a horse that just won last week, which could also be used if you can figure he's going to get that type of trip again. But I'm not playing him here. The 7, What a Horse, Had the outside last week. He raced well. I don't mind him in this spot again. I think he's going to work out another good trip. A little bit better post. Corey Callahan jumps on, so that's you get that driver change there. I'm going to throw him on your tickets. Another price play. And then the 10, what's going on? This is Burke and Jingra. Come first over last week. Just empty at the end over at Pocono. Gets a class drop over the Meadowlands. This looks like a spot where these Burke horses, the Burke barn has been on fire at the Meadowlands recently as well. So anything he's got in, you have to take a hard look at. So this one I'm definitely using on the class drop. 2, 3, 6, 7, 10.
I used 5 also, but not the same 5. The 3 Jacks Are Lucky 2 is one that I did use. Just because, this horse, he loves this place. 8 wins last year. And, he gets a drop. When he gets a trip, he's usually extremely tough, especially from off the pace. So I think he's a use. The 6 McThriller, I didn't really like him last time, but he raced way better than I expected on the step up against horses that are sharp. And he's been bet the last 2. So he's going to be a use for me because I would expect him to try to go for the front. I agree on the 7. Water Words, I thought raced extremely well last time from the 9 hole, was live late and, held well to be 4th. Prior to that, had won 3 in a row at Monticello. And, this horse, again, is another one that does very well here. He's going to be a price. The 8 in the Ingot, this horse comes over from Yonkers, was racing numbers of 11,000, numbers of 10,000. Those are tough fields. Had some tough posts there. He's a bit of a closer that needs a setup, but, he's going to be a price. I like Brett Miller getting on. And then the 9, I'm staying alive. Third back, raced in a really fast race at Philly. That race went 51 flat. That's a fast mile over there. And, Pat LaChance, his barn's been live. This horse has won 4 times. I like that this horse is third back. I think still might have some improving. I'm curious to see how he goes on the big track. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And quickly, leg number 4. I'm singling JK Music Man. He looks tons the best. Just needs to stay flat. Mike?
Agree. King that horse and probably should be the winner.
That's a dead chalk. We'll be live going into that leg, hopefully. My ticket is $30. It will be posted on NAHUPicks.com. Mike, you can post your ticket on there as well. But finally, after much grooming in the driver's room at Mohawk, we've got Jay Harris live. Jay, what's up, man?
Not a lot. How you doing?
It's been a few months since you've been on the show. Have you grown any facial hair?
I try not to. I don't like the look of it.
Ray?
He's got that baby face. That's why.
Well,
it doesn't go with the baby face. So I got to keep this trimmed up,
Well, you get older like us, this is what you end up with. Right here.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Well, once you start wrinkling up, then you're going to be like, oh, I got to cover this up.
Yeah, I'm just not at that stage yet, thankfully.
Yeah, you'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So anyway, you drove a couple tonight at Mohawk, Woodbine Mohawk Park. Yeah. The last one was 4th, correct?
Yeah.
Looked a little lazy around the turn. You lost about 5 or 6 lengths there going into that last turn. What happened there?
Yeah. She gaps in that last turn. She's done it her whole life. It's just what she does. She's kind of a hard mare to drive because she'll do that in the last turn, then she'll kick coming home again.
One of those types.
I thought she raced pretty well to be 4th in there, considering what happened on the turn and considering the way the track is played.
Yeah,
I thought the horse raced good.
Yeah, she did race good. So, and she was out a couple weeks because so she was real good, really.
Now, what do you got? What do you got this weekend? You going to Flamborough over the weekend?
Flamborough Sunday, Mohawk tomorrow, and Mohawk Monday.
So how many you got at Mohawk tomorrow? We were just talking about Mohawk earlier in the card.
I think I got 3.
What do you like best of the 3?
Realistically, I like them all. I mean, I'm driving one for Jason Ryan. He likes that horse. I haven't driven it yet, so I don't know much about him, but Jason was high on him, so That horse has probably got a shot. And then my dad's he's a sensation, and he drew the rail, so he's been drawing outside. He'll get away a little closer, and he's got a good kick. He's down in class. And then we got Rockin' Heaven in the preferred.
Yeah, he's a sensation. He's been good all year.
Racing pretty well.
Yeah, he's been good. Real good.
Now, if you remember, you might not remember, but I remember these things. You told us, oh, I'm just going to stick to the beat tracks for now. You know, I got no plans to go over to Mohawk or anywhere else. Now, all of a sudden, you're at Mohawk every night. What's going on, man? What happened? Where'd you go?
Frozen.
Who's frozen? He's froze.
He is. He's frozen.
Jay. Letter J. Come back.
We lost him.
Jay, come back. Come on, man. Waited this long. Log off and log back on. I know you can hear me.
Well, he probably can't hear you, Rod.
Yes, he can. He can hear me.
How can he hear you if it's frozen?
This happened before, if you don't remember.
Oh. I don't remember, really.
Well, anyway, Jay lied to us. He said he was going to stay at Western Fair and Flammy and Grand River and all those tracks, all the B tracks. He was going to stay there. So,
you know what, though? I will tell you this, Rod, and you know I watch every race at Mohawk. He's racing really well up there. I mean, he deserves to be there, I think. And, you know, a lot of his horses are live and his drives are aggressive. And that doesn't happen a lot at this place, you know, many nights. So, I mean, I'm not afraid to take him on anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the aggressive style is always something to look for, especially on a track like tonight. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, look, if you look tonight, I mean, he was up and moving with that horse in the 8th race, you know, first up. I mean, that horse doesn't like to come first up, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he was in the race. I mean, that was, you know, and that horse raced really good.
Yeah, drive to win. That's always an important thing.
Yeah, but a lot of guys at that place don't necessarily do that. I mean, that's the, you know.
Jay's having phone troubles currently.
Okay.
I think he had to turn his phone off and turn it back on. But, you know, like we were talking about with Jay, realistically, he's got 3 horses in tomorrow. He likes all 3 of them. The one's got the 10-hole. And, you know, the one he's driving for his dad, he's a sensation. That horse has been solid all year. I mean, that's a nice animal.
He gave that horse a really good drive a couple weeks ago.
What do you think of that horse in that race?
Well, I mean, I always think that horse has a chance just because of his kick. And now the track has to, you know, change from what it was for him to have a chance. I mean, the way the track played tonight, it wasn't very good for him. I mean, he kind of sits in one punches, you know, but he's faced tough ones. I mean, he's been in against like Regal Sun, Mongolian Hero the last couple weeks. You know, he was second at 17-1 October 13th with him. You know, he runs into one dropper in here, you know, Fine Diamond. You know, that horse has been racing at the top levels too. I think this is a good level for that horse. I think he gets a little bit of a setup because there's some speed outside, and you know, he should be live late as long as the track changes a little bit. You know, I like the way he's drawn, and I think that if he can sit and do that usual one punch, he might have a shot in the race. I mean, they have to beat the 2, obviously, but
well, we got Jay back,
you know, so he's in play.
So Jay, can you hear us now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. Now, I was saying before you hung up on us.
I didn't hang up. I didn't charge my phone.
So before you hung up on us, I was saying you lied to us. If you don't remember, last time you were on the show, we asked you about when you were on with your brother. We asked you about the plans later in the year, and you basically said, "Oh, we'll stick around the B tracks and, you know, play it by ear here, and I have no plans to go to Mohawk or anywhere else." And then you lied, and now you're over there.
Yeah, I didn't initially plan on it, actually. It just kind of happened. Yeah, I never had any plans of going there.
Put your seatbelt on.
Yes, sir.
See what happens when you drive? You got to have it on in the new cars. You don't wear one all night. You drive horses. You don't wear a seatbelt all night. You can at least put one on in the car.
No, 100%, especially with the weather lately.
Yeah, it sucks. Were you guys just getting rain up there, or was it a mix, or what?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a drizzle. It wasn't fully raining, it was just drizzling here and there.
The track kind of looked like it was okay early, and then it got worse as the card went on.
Yeah, it was actually pretty firm, just the rail got a little bit used up. It wasn't really that bad. They had the track pretty firm going into tonight, so it was kind of hard more than anything.
Do you feel like that the front was the place to be? I mean, it looked like they won about 8 out of the 10 races.
Yeah, front end speed's definitely carrying there tonight.
Now, who's the passenger you got with you there?
My dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy, Jagger.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's a big dog.
Yeah, he's 150 pounds.
Holy crap. That's a
you,
that is a big ass dog.
About even, yeah, we're about even.
Wow.
Now,
that's a cool dog.
I did want to ask you about Christy Dustin's charity thing. Are you participating on Monday?
Monday, unfortunately, I'm at Mohawk, so no, I'm not in on it. I would love to, as everybody knows that breast cancer has affected our family as well, so I would love to have been there for it, but I got to go to Mohawk.
Now, how is your sister-in-law doing since we talked to you and Andrew last time?
Yeah, she's still sick, so she's still going through treatments.
Well, that's not very good news, but the encouraging news is she's still fighting it, so that's always a positive thing.
She's a very positive person, and that helps a lot. She keeps an upbeat attitude.
Now, as far as the racing goes, are you going to lie to me again when I ask you this about future plans coming up here in a couple months? What do you have planned for the winter months? And don't lie this time.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't plan anything. I just wing it. I go wherever I go, and there is no planning on my part at all. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, for fuck's sakes.
Now, the last question I got for you before we log off here. You got your dog with you. Obviously, you're not going out tonight.
No.
You had a small stable early in the summertime of your own that you were working on.
Yeah.
What's going on with the stable of yours?
Taking a little break, actually. It was a long summer. I raced 7 nights a week, so going in the mornings and going home, napping, going to race at night, it was just getting a little too much, so taking a little break for a little bit. Probably started back up December-ish.
How many are you going to start with?
Not many. I don't like to have a lot. I don't want to work too hard.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's still in there driving every night. I mean, he's always out there firing. You gotta.
Yeah, it's a busy lifestyle. I mean, it's 7 nights a week, so you don't get any time off, and it's not much of a life when you're just going home to nap and going right back to work again.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. It is tough, and it can get to you after a while, especially when you
burn out real fast.
Yeah.
And you drive worse because you're burnt out.
Yeah. And trust me, I know all about it. After I stopped doing it, that's when my body kind of just said, okay, you're done doing it now? All right, I'm just going to shut down the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And it took me 3 or 4 months just to be able to do normal stuff body-wise.
Don't be like Ron.
It was awful. Just take care of it while you can.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the easy life, so you gotta just enjoy it and do it as best as you can.
Well, Jay, we're out of time. Do you want to sign us off since you're the ending co-host here? You want to sign us off?
Not really, but.
Well, do your best impression of a Ray sign off. It could be the worst ever because that would be close.
Oh my God, that's hard to do.
I don't know if I'm going to do a race sign off, but I'm going to say thank you guys for watching NAHUPicks.com, and hope to see you guys again next time.
Bang bang.